You have selected one of the finest greenhouses on the market, an innovative product developed and manufactured by Rion for Oasis, a successful, high-quality plastic manufacturer. Your greenhouse has been designed and manufactured to give you ease of assembly, simple maintenance, child and ball-safe glazing, and pleasure nurturing cuttings and seeds for onward planting into your garden. Take just a few minutes to watch this video, which covers the construction of your new garden building, giving useful hints and tips. Your new greenhouse has a unique, simple push-fit system, which makes it easy to construct, but there are a few basic household tools you will need to get together before you start. Tape measure, spirit level, scissors, utility knife, and, although your Oasis greenhouse has no sharp edges or conventional glass, we do recommend that you wear gloves. Before you start, it is advisable to unpack all of the boxes and lay out all the components grouped together by type on the floor. They're coded for ease of identification. This is important to enable you to identify each component and check them against the instruction manual. None of the components or boxes is excessively heavy, but working with one of the family, a friend or neighbor will speed up the process. Do, however, exercise caution when lifting the packs, and during the assembly process you will need assistance to position the roof section. To gain the most from your Oasis greenhouse, it is best placed in a position where it will receive direct sunlight and is protected from the wind. Once you have decided on the position, you can then choose which form of base you're going to use. We recommend you use our specially designed Oasis base. It will give you the flexibility to move your greenhouse easily at some time in the future. First, dig a small trench around 50 millimeters deep, and then position the base into it. Check that it fits and is reasonably level. Alternatively, decking secured to the ground also provides an ideal base for your greenhouse, as does paving. You may wish to prepare a concrete foundation. If this is the case, refer to the instruction leaflet for the technical details, and be sure to check with your local authority to see if a special permit is needed before you pour a concrete slab. It is not advisable to construct your new greenhouse if the weather conditions are inclement, and particularly if there are high winds. Now you can start constructing your greenhouse. First, lay out the base of the frame on top of the greenhouse base. It is easier to do this away from the prepared base area. The components simply push-fit together. To help you get the base connectors round the right way, the outside is marked for ease of identification. Make sure that all the channels face outwards before inserting and securing the frame to the base with the bolts, nuts, and washers. Remember to place the bottom fixing for the door on the required end as you fit the securing bolts. For a sliding door, fit the retaining slider, and for a hinged model, use the hinge. Once you've assembled and secured the base frame and greenhouse base, carry it over to your prepared area and take a minute to check that it is square by measuring across each of the corners. Take time also to make sure the base is level at this stage using a spirit level. Next comes the roof. Start by putting together the two ends. They are slightly different in their construction, as one, of course, carries the door. Follow the instruction manual and firmly push the fittings together and lock the pins in place with the tool provided. This is where your first experience of fitting the polycarbonate glazing panels occurs. They have no sharp edges, do not shatter like glass, and are much easier to handle. The outside surface of the panels has a special coating to protect your plants from harmful ultraviolet rays, and is marked with a logo to help you fit it the right way round. It is worth marking each of the panels with a dot using a permanent marker, just in case one of the panels ever blew out. Before fitting the glazing panels, pull back the UV marking tape from the top and bottom of the panel. Fit the glazing seal in the end section at this stage, cutting it to the required length and pushing it into place with the tool provided. Fit either the hinged or sliding door, fitting whichever you have selected, before moving on to the central section of the roof. Once you have completed the ends, build on the central arches one at a time from the rear end of your greenhouse until they are all in place. Finish off by attaching the door end. The next step is to attach the glazing elements which hold the polycarbonate glazing in position. It is best to step into the framework to reach the top of the roof. To make it just a little easier to fit the glazing elements, apply soapy water to the strips before fitting. Attach each glazing element by placing one end in the channel and pushing it down along its length. When applying the glazing elements, make sure that the correct components are used in their appropriate section, as they vary in length. It is well worth checking against the instruction booklet. Now you are ready to place the roof vents and polycarbonate glazing panels in position. The roof vent is designed to fit into the end section of the roof and can be placed left or right, front or back. If you are intending fitting additional roof vents, then now is the time to fit them. Now for the glazing panels. Place them into one of the channels of the glazing element, top or bottom, and then gently bend the panel to ease it into the channel at the other end. Continue inserting panels until the roof is fully glazed. Finish off the glazing by adding the glazing cap elements, pushing them firmly into place. Again, it is easier to fit them if they are dipped in soapy water first. Be especially careful to align the glazing capping elements so there is no overlap or gap. This makes for a better fit, and it will look better. Once this has been completed, finish off the roof section by pushing the roof caps on the top rib intersection of the roof into place. Moving now onto the base section. Insert the vertical columns into place, being particularly careful to use the correct posts in the corners. Once they are all in position, secure them using the locking pins as used in the roof section. For the next stage, you will need assistance, not because the roof section is particularly heavy, but it is awkward. Before lifting into position, make sure that the door is in the same position on both bottom and roof section. Take one end each, lift in unison, and then move carefully over to the base section. Rest the roof on the columns and then, working your way around the greenhouse, insert the first centimetre of the roof connectors into the columns. Make sure that you do not insert the connectors all the way at this stage, as this is done once you have the glazing in position, which is the next step. Bend the glazing panel slightly so that each of the vertical sides locates into the frame columns. Then straighten, sliding the panel up or down into grooves in the frame. Complete all the polycarbonate glazing panels in the bottom before lowering the roof section. Move around, section by section, pulling the roof down using the glazing tool if needed to guide the corners of the polycarbonate glazing panel into the top channel. Once complete, then go around securing the roof into position with the locking pins. Now for the final element of the glazing, fitting the flexible glazing sealer. This needs to be applied to all the panels in the base and ends, both horizontally and vertically. Cut to the required length and, using the glazing tool, push the sealer into position. This will provide your greenhouse with a water and windproof seal. Just before you hang the door, you will need to fit some soft foam insulation into any gaps between the roof and base connections. The insulating strip is self-adhesive and can be cut with a pair of scissors. Now all that is left is to hang the door. If you're fitting a sliding version, just place the runners on the top of the door and slide it on, then fit the retaining channels. And for a hinged model, drop it onto the frame hinges. Last but not least, fit the draft seal. The construction is now complete. Now you can infill the greenhouse base with the soil that you removed when digging the trench. To prevent weeds growing and to provide an ideal all-weather surface to work on, spread decorative aggregate over the soil to a depth of around 50 millimeters. To enable you to gain the most benefit from your Oasis greenhouse, a full range of accessories are available, including louvered windows for draft-free ventilation, roof vents with automatic openers, two-tier staging for storage and extra working space, greenhouse shelving, and an ingenious grow bag watering system providing plants with water just when they need it. A great way of collecting water naturally for use in your greenhouse is through the guttering system using a water butt to collect rainwater for future use. Just a point of safety. You should always close roof vents in high winds, and on the odd occasion that we have snow, clear it from the roof of your oasis greenhouse with a broom.